Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Network Merchandise Shop. Check out our large assortment of logo merch and our lifestyle collection as well. Just head over to abvnetwork.com and click on shop. We are also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for yourself, a customized gift, or logo items for your business or event, The Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. Use the number 2 when you type out The Bar to Go. Did you know Neely Family Distillery now ships its popular distilled spirits directly to you? To order, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. Finally, we are sponsored by the upcoming ABV Barrel Shop, a new liquor store experience coming to St. Louis, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop will serve as home to the ABV Network and will be owned and operated by Steve Akeley, Jim Fosnot, and Scott Creighton, a.k.a. the Barrel Buddies. To learn more about the investment opportunities in this new venture, listen to the ad at the end of this podcast. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we complete a bracket challenge to determine which of these celebrities needs a bourbon brand. My name is Miss Beka Sue. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Lenny Eckstein, Stacey Spears, and Royce Neely.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Oh,
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So, yeah, we should have a fun show today. We're going to be talking about celebrity that needs to have a bourbon brand. So we've got some kind of offbeat celebrities, and it seems like everybody's doing this now. And let's actually get someone that is good, because there's so many of them that don't make any sense. We're going to try to get a good one. So we'll work on that after the break. For right now, Royce said there's something he wanted to talk about. What is that, Royce?
yeah. So we're planning this trip, getting ready for this trip to Key West. And I have a question for you guys. When somebody asks you to go on a trip with them or to do something, are you the kind of person that comes up with a definitive answer like right then? Or do you string somebody along for 3 weeks / 2 months, telling them, yeah, you think you're going to go, or you are going, but you can't go now, and then you are going again, and you just can't make up your mind? That's my question to you guys.
I'm very definitive. So I'm a planner. I mean, my schedule is usually pretty tight. So yes, I can tell you absolutely I can go. And if I go, I'm in then. So I'm easy to get along with in this way. So yes, simple. Yes.
I can validate this for you, Steve.
Yes.
I've done trips with you. That is
it's a strength. It's a strength of mine.
It's a strength.
Yes. How about you, Stacey?
I'm always in. So I hate myself trying to plan something and people are just on the fence and won't give you an answer.
Yeah,
so,
it's annoying, right?
Yeah, because then you lose out on good prices and
exactly
stuff. So yeah,
that was one of the things we ran into with the Key West trip. So literally, they could have got the rooms for, I don't know, sub 200, so 170 or something like that. And I'm begging people. I'm like, they gave us this rate. We can get all the rooms we need. Please just book. And they're like, this is like a year away. I don't know what I'm going to eat for dinner tonight. Why would I know if I'm going to go for sure next year? I'm just like, please, just if you're thinking about it, you can all the way through like a day before, you can cancel, no charge. You just book the room and then decide later what you're going to do, and then cancel if you decide you're not going to. And a lot of people didn't. And then they're complaining that the rooms jumped up to like $450 a night from like $175. And it's like, I don't know what to tell you. And,
we were looking at them I was looking at them 2 days ago. Some room, I mean, most of them down there right now are like $600-800 a night.
Yeah.
wow.
Key West is just, if you're thinking about going to Las Vegas, well, there's unlimited hotel rooms there. But when you're talking about a place like Key West, you got to book early. Otherwise, yeah.
Like way early, like 6 months early.
Yeah. So.
That, or do you hate when people are afraid to tell you no, so they just ignore you?
Right.
That drives me nuts.
These all fall into that same category. The on the fence, the ghosting, I'll call you, I'll let you know for sure by Friday after I talk to the wife. And then Friday comes, you're sitting there with a drink, and you're like,
Did they get a divorce?
Yeah, I mean, you got to call me. What have I caused a divorce from this? Is it my fault?
Yeah. How about you, Lenny?
If I say yes, I'm in no matter what. Like, it's got to be something damn serious to interfere with the plans. But the alternative to that, I don't feel like I string people along. I think what I do, and while I'm terrible at math, I like to drop percentages. So I will say to someone, there's a solid 62% that I'm in. And then I'll update them a few days later. And it might go up to 80%, it might go down to 30 something. But like, I let them know, and I'll be real about it. I also will drop the, I will try, but I reserve the right to bail. I'm not giving you my word that I'll be there. I'll just
turn up.
Yeah. As long as you make those terms available. Like Mandy Kaplan asked me last week or 2 weeks ago if I wanted to come down on tomorrow and hang out with her and some girls. And she's like, would you like to come down and hang out? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm going to give you a strong maybe because I'm not going to give you, because I don't know yet. But I'll give you I might not. Like, I'm not going to go, yes, I'll be there, and then I don't show up. I was going to say no because I didn't know. I didn't know yet.
That's an appropriate answer because then you can give them.
It's a maybe. I can give you 100% a maybe. I maybe will. I maybe will not.
That's actually an answer, though. And then you can say the consequences of that. I could say, hey, Beka, okay, that's fine. Just take your time, look at it, but know that if you don't book by this date, then it's going to go up, and you probably don't want to go. So, but yeah, when you're just like you say yes, I'm interested, but then don't return calls and stuff like that, it just gets to be rude, right? Right.
I feel like it is kind of a hard thing for a lot of people though to do these days.
I don't know if they're just afraid of conflict.
I think that's a big part of it is like a lot of people, like, they don't want to disappoint someone. And sometimes they do feel like maybe there is the possibility that they could do whatever it is that they're getting asked to do. I think sometimes they know that they can't, but they're scared.
Yeah, there's like maybe I'll hit the lottery and then I'll quit my job and then I'll be free to go on that trip. So I'm not gonna tell the person anything yet because there's that chance I could do all that. And just tell me no.
It is a little bit stressful sometimes to like give someone a definitive answer with things. And that was something at one point that I'd like said to myself, I'm like, I need to be better about actually giving someone an answer. Like that when I was single, it was like I was sick of being like, yeah, maybe I'll go on a date with you. And I was like, why do I do that? Like, I don't want to go on a date with this person at all. And so I need to just tell them, no, I'm not going to. Don't ask again. This is a possibility because it was stupid that any of us women would go, yeah, just, I'll talk to you some.
Right.
No, I don't want to talk to you ever. I'm telling you, no, I don't want to do this. And that's what, like, everyone needs to be better about just, and to me, the best thing that you can do is, especially for people who are like super introverted and like are terrified to do those type of things, just don't be yourself. Be whoever it is that you can picture saying no and like, I don't want to do this. Just pretend to be them for all of, 30 seconds and do your inner.
Or instead of being a nut and pretending to be anything, just say yes or no.
There's some people
and then commit to it.
I'm telling you. There's some people that cannot. It's just like they don't know how to do it, so they don't know how to say no. And so just say it.
You're a shitty person. Then you got to fix yourself. Quit being like that. It's a yes or a no, and you commit to it. And you go on. This world isn't chaos anymore.
Like when you're, I would say under 16, you can get away with like not knowing that about yourself yet. But yeah, man, if you're an adult, it's time. Make decisions.
Nobody can plan anything. It's time. And plus, if you're planning this trip. And then, damn it, everybody backs out the last second and you're going by yourself. It sucks.
So I'm saying you need to actually say it or don't say it. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Royce, what do you think about when you show up on a podcast and one of your best friends has a painting of you hanging behind them? Is that awkward? Is that something awkward that they don't even ask you and they get a commission a painting of you? Is that?
I mean, it's beautiful. I was like, man, Akeley, he was.
Exactly. I mean,
Akeley's in the top left. That's Stacey Spears with Akeley behind her.
It's a nice painting. There's no doubt. It's just, I wish she would have told me. I wish she would have been like, hey, I'm doing this. I don't want you to find out, when you just show up, this is what I'm doing. I'm having a painting of you.
It's like the Sopranos.
Right. It's like, when Paulie Walnuts had the
Paulie Walnuts.
Tony. The Tony painting. Yeah.
Tony painting with the horse, and he's wearing like Napoleon's outfit.
Right. There you go. So there it is. Well, all right. Well, on that note, it is time to drink with me judging Stacey. We'll have her go first as I look over her shoulder, judging the whole time.
I've got an Ely.
Okay.
Ooh, which one?
Neely Toast Crunch.
Nice.
Okay. Oh, that's a nice one. Oh. Okay, that was good. Pretty good. Could be enough. We'll see. I've got Pacific Flyway whiskey here. So this is from our buddy Golden Beaver. He'll be at Key West with us. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Chris and his wife. So that's cool stuff. Here we go. Cork pop. No, not enough. Stacey still got the lead. So we'll see what happens. Royce, you're next.
I have an empty bottle of Neely Family Distillery bourbon. No. No life left there. Beka, what do you got?
I've got the very remainders of barrel 608, which was another sample.
Okay. Not as good as Stacey. Stacey still has the lead. Next up is Lenny. Lenny, you're last but not least.
I've got the Van Scoik edition of Stooges.
Well, they were pissed at you. I went on that event. I missed the event, but I went on the aftermath when they're talking.
Pissed.
And they're like, Lenny didn't show up, nor did he call or text or anything. I'm like,
yeah, sorry.
Yeah. And they were like, it's rude, And yeah.
Lenny's ghosting people.
He's ghosting people. Yeah.
I said I was going to be there, and I was not there.
Yeah, that's a perfect. The guy who says he'll be there no matter what. Who said he'd be there, and then
They had some shit going on.
I ran into those two at the grocery store today, and I did the thing where I snuck up behind him and I, like put my shoulder into Evan, and he's apologizing. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. I clearly about laid him out. It was so great. He's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, shopping like you.
Hey, I've got some breaking news that won't be breaking when this comes out, but Bob Saget has died.
Bob Saget died?
Yes.
What?
You will not
Wow.
be getting a bourbon break.
65 years old.
65, huh?
Wow.
He doesn't. Yeah, he seemed overall in good health. Fit.
A pile of cocaine and hookers.
Probably could be.
He actually married an influencer who was about
Really?
20 years younger than him.
There you go. Not that surprising, actually. The hooker thing. Not the surprising that he died. Yes, that's surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he had a pretty great life. That's not a life you want to die from. You want to keep that thing going. Yeah, I think.
His wife was she wasn't I don't want to say she was influencer pretty where she was like overly done, but she was like a good looking younger woman that seemed to really like Bob.
Yeah. So
She just cashed in.
Yeah. Well, maybe not.
Maybe not. It's true.
yeah.
Bob Saget.
All right, Lenny, did you?
All right. No, I did not. All right.
Oh,
Wow.
he stole it from you, Stacey. He came in at the end and he stole it.
Pouring one out for Bob.
And Squoit Cannon.
Yeah, the Van Scoik cannon. There it is. Cheers, gang.
Cheers.
Years.
All right. We'll take a quick break. And then when we come back, it's bracket challenge time. We're going to be talking about what celebrity should have a bourbon brand. We'll do that in just a few. Hello, this is Steve Akeley of the ABV Network. Let's talk about the people who make this show happen. First up is Leatherwood Distillery in Pleasant View, Tennessee. Company founder Andy Lang started distilling as a hobby while serving his country as an elite Green Beret. Andy distilled all over the world during his time in the military and brought this passion back to him in the U.S. when he returned home. A visit to Leatherwood combines Andy Lang's unique distilled spirits and a museum of artifacts from his time serving the U.S. Share a drink with a fallen soldier at their bar where you can grab an acrylic bio off the wall that celebrates the individuals who gave the ultimate sacrifice to protect his or her country. They will also ship their distilled spirits directly to you, so check them out at leatherwooddistillery.com. We are also sponsored by Moonshine University. This longtime partner for the ABV Network helps educate individuals looking to get into the distilled spirits business, service industry employees looking to expand their knowledge, and individuals simply wanting to know more about the process and history of the spirits industry. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification at Moonshine University, and it's something I continuously draw upon and connect with fellow graduates. Check out their full listing of classes, including Executive Bourbon Steward certification, production classes, and more at moonshineuniversity.com. Okay, let's talk about Neely Family Distillery. In 2018, I met Royce Neely at an industry event. He started appearing on our shows, and we became friends during my frequent visits to Kentucky. Today, he's leading the way for young distillers making their mark on the bourbon industry. A visit to Neely Family Distillery combines family history, a look at what makes their products unique, and of course a tasting through their whiskeys, moonshines, and creams. Check them out at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com and visit them in Sparta, Kentucky. All right, back to the show.
Hello, this is Daddy Kennard, and I'm recording on the ABV network.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about which celebrity should have a bourbon brand.
Yes, we are. So I've got 8 celebrities here. Here is who is up for consideration, and we'll talk about how these are bracketed in just a second. The first one, the Three Stooges. That's a pretty good one. I like that. The next one, the person with the most punchable face in the industry, Pete Davidson. I hate that guy. I can't say it brings out my old man tendencies where I just hate stuff that really has nothing to do with me. I hate Pete Davidson. I literally hate that man. And he's never wronged me in any way. I just can't stand him. J-Lo. Clark Griswold, yes, we know he's a character, not a person, but it seems to fit well. They even talk about bourbon several times in the movie and stuff like that. Clark Griswold is good. Peter Griffin, again, another character, a cartoon character in that case. Lindsay Lohan, Danny Trejo, and Steve Buscemi. That's our 8 celebrities. Pretty good ones, I'd say. The matchups look like this. J-Lo will take on Clark Griswold. The Three Stooges take on Lindsay Lohan. Danny Trejo takes on Peter Griffin, and finally Pete Davidson takes on Steve Buscemi. Round number 1, J-Lo versus Clark Griswold. Up first is Royce. Royce, you're first.
It was J-Lo and who?
Clark Griswold.
Which one should have their own bourbon brand?
Which would you be more likely to buy? So you got to think about yourself. You're at the store. Yeah.
Never buy anything that was pertaining to. I don't have no quarrels with J-Lo. But I would definitely buy a Clark Griswold bourbon, especially if it had something to do with like the holiday lights. I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
Right. It seems like, you got a party coming up and you got some friends and they're inviting you to dinner. It seems to make some sense. We'll see. Griswold goes up 1-0. What do you think, Lenny? Clark Griswold, part of your favorite holiday, Christmas. You love Christmas. So maybe this swings J-Lo your way. So what do you think, J-Lo or Clark Griswold?
I mean, Clark Griswold is also part of vacations. And I like vacations.
Sure.
I'm going to spin this a little different. I think nothing wrong with any of these characters on this list, but I think a lot of them might not parlay as well into bourbon as they might into other things. So I think each matchup, I got to decide, like, not whose would I buy as much as who's more likely or more believable, could have the brand that makes sense. And I see Jennifer Lopez being more of like a vodka brand at best. Okay. Maybe a hard seltzer. So Clark Griswold, I could kind of see that as a bourbon brand. So yeah.
Okay. Clark Griswold goes up 2-0. Stacey, what do you think? J-Lo or Clark Griswold?
I kind of agree with Lenny because I don't really see J-Lo as a bourbon person, but out of the 2 women that are on there, I definitely like J-Lo the best.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with her.
Okay, J-Lo has life in this game. She's down 2-1. Miss Beka Sue, what do you think? J-Lo or Clark Griswold?
Yeah, this one, like, J-Lo shouldn't have a bourbon brand, but Clark Griswold, now, I'm not going to say he'd have a good bourbon brand. Yeah, clarify, this is not a good bourbon. This is a bourbon.
This is definitely Terrapure 6-month-old.
Yeah.
This is Terrapure 6-month-old cut down to 85 proof.
This is not a good bourbon.
And it's called Barrels Full with Cousin Eddie pumping a barrel on the front of it.
Barrels full. Barrels full.
And so, yeah, I would say Clark Griswold because it would be something that people would buy because they're like, oh, this is hilarious. This is Clark Griswold's.
Could he do a high end one too? You know, his nickname was Sparky.
No.
Could he do the Sparky series where it is a high end? No. Okay.
Yeah, it'd be worth like what, $35 as opposed to the regular $15.
Maybe he puts the hot, just different scenarios of that hot chick he always sees throughout the movies.
Yes.
Mary. Well, in that one, it's Mary. In the Christmas Vacation, it's Mary. Well, that's my name. No shit. I can't see the line, can you, Rusty? All right. Next up is the Three Stooges versus Lindsay Lohan. Round number 2. Lenny, you're first. Three Stooges or Lindsay Lohan?
I felt like, I mean, I kind of know who Lindsay Lohan is, but I had to still Google her real quick because I was like, what did she do again? I know
she drank a lot. Yeah. I mean, she's known for her drinking.
I feel like I'm not much of a Three Stooges historian. Were they known for drinking?
More beer. I mean, there's a lot of beer. I can't remember distilled spirits really appearing in any of them. Maybe there is, but
I guess I'm going to apply the same logic. I don't see a Lindsay Lohan bourbon. It just doesn't make sense. Maybe a shitty tequila. I guess I could see a Three Stooges bourbon in the same vein as like the Duke or something like, any other.
Yeah, sure. Or J.R. Ewing. I mean, for God's sakes, J.R. Ewing has his own bourbon. I mean, come on. All right. So the Stooges go up 1-0. What do you think, Stacey? The Stooges or Lindsay Lohan?
I'm not a big Lindsay Lohan fan, and that would be a train wreck bourbon, definitely. So
how are you a big Lindsay Lohan fan? Do you like gossip stuff and that? Because clearly her career's been derailed for so long.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
really
just like Lindsay Lohan.
A lot of stuff.
She's had some problems. Let's be clear. She had some problems, but I think that she also was she was a pretty good actress prior.
Pretty sure Lindsay Lohan can't legally own a bourbon brand.
I think she was a good child actress. I don't know what. I don't know anything she's been in a
I don't think the TTV will license her.
I don't think she's been in anything recently because of her, her troubles.
Right.
But I think she's actually a pretty good actress just in general. But yeah, she's just had a lot of issues.
So are you giving her your vote? You're next.
I'm next. This one's a little bit tough. Like, I feel like Lindsay Lohan would probably know her bourbon just because she did have some issues. So I don't think that her brand would be bad if she had one. And the Three Stooges one, like you guys said, like it would be more of like a Duke brand where it's like it's named for the Three Stooges. Which one should I think should actually exist? I'd probably say Three Stooges should probably exist. I don't know that Lindsay should have a bourbon brand.
Okay. I'm going to agree with you. That means the Stooges move on. All right. Next up is Danny Trejo versus Peter Griffin. Round number 3. Stacey, you're first. Who do you think out of those two? Danny Trejo.
Yes. Yeah.
Goes up 1-0. Yeah. Miss Beka Sue, Danny Trejo or Peter Griffin?
Although I would expect Danny to have a tequila brand, I would rather, out of those two, I'd definitely rather just see Danny also have a bourbon brand. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of these, I mean, it can't be like, well, he should have a tequila because they don't make sense. Like I just saw Lemmy, Motorhead is doing their own bourbon now. He drank Jack Daniels. That guy is known for doing nothing but drinking Jack Daniels. Why would he have his own bourbon brand?
I'm pretty sure they mentioned that in the write-up on him.
Yeah, exactly.
When I read, they talked about Jack Daniels. I'm like,
yeah. Now they have a bourbon brand, and again, it's his estate, of course, is doing this stuff now. It's not Lemmy himself. I doubt he would have done that. I mean, Lemmy was going to, either he wanted a Jack Daniel's sponsorship, or he's not going to start his own bourbon brand. He was a Jack drinker, but yeah. So Danny says Miss Beka Sue. I'm going to agree. Danny Trejo, the guy's awesome. Guy's one of my favorites, so I'm going him. That means Danny moves on. Next up is a couple of odd-looking fellows, Pete Davidson and Steve Buscemi, round number 4. Up first is Miss Beka Sue.
This one is easy. just after watching Boardwalk Empire, like I have to go with Steve Buscemi. I would very proudly support a Steve Buscemi brand. In fact, if Steve is listening right now and you want a bourbon brand, come to Mealy Family Distillery and Royce will figure that all out.
Bring a lot of money.
Bring a lot of money and yourself, and that can happen.
Yeah. So these two guys, again, both a couple of odd looking fellows. That's all they have in common. One is extremely talented. One has no talent. So I would say that this to me is a slam dunk. I think that this also carries over into business. I don't think one could own a business. Too much of a train wreck. I think the other one could be a very good business person. I'm going to go Steve Buscemi, meaning he is up 2-0 over the great Pete Davidson. So McNew, I were on the thing the other day, and McNew's like, "Oh, I love him. He's great." I'm like, "That's perfect example of his fan base right there, McNew. Thank you. You've reiterated and affirmed everything that I've ever thought about Pete Davidson." So yeah. He's awesome. Next up is Royce. Royce, what do you think? Pete Davidson or Steve Buscemi?
Yeah, Steve Buscemi, I'd actually support his bourbon brand.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I also think Danny Trejo as well from the earlier one, but yeah, I think Steve Buscemi should actually have a bourbon brand. Like that one actually makes sense to me.
Yeah, that means Buscemi moves on. Our final four looks like this. It's kind of weird how this is come together. We got Clark Griswold versus the Stooges, kind of the humor round, and then you've got a serious one where it looks like to me could have been the finals here. Danny Trejo versus Steve Buscemi. So that's going to be an interesting one. But before we get to that, round 5 is Clark Griswold versus the Stooges. I do think there's merit to both of these. I think, though, just a little bit better. I mean, they talk about bourbon in the movie. They talk about Jack Daniels. They talk about Wild Turkey. They talk about bourbon in general, at different times in movies in the series. So I got to say that in mind, I got to go Clark Griswold. Clark Griswold goes up 1-0. Royce, what do you think? Clark Griswold or the Stooges?
Yeah, this one's pretty easy for me. It's I'm definitely same deal. Clark Griswold, same reasons.
All right. Next up is Lenny.
I think this is an interesting matchup in the sense that they're kind of similar, such as was the case with the last Pete Davidson, Steve Buscemi. But I guess I'm looking at this from the sense of like, how would the brand actually be there? Like if I was with the agency that was tasked with come out with the bourbon brand that's going to represent one of these two, I could see if it was for the Stooges. You can't call bourbon Stooges; it's stupid. But you could call it the Three, and just have like silhouettes and. Clark Griswold, God, what do you call it? I mean, aside from Clark, there's got to be something. There's got to be like what was that stuff called? The Clark Griswold grease that he put on the bottom of his saucer.
Oh, yeah, the non-stick.
If you want the brand, it's definitely going to be like an eggnog flavored bourbon later.
That's true. Oh well, I guess I'd rather see the Clark Griswold product. It would be more fun to brand a Three Stooges product, but the Griswold product moves forward.
That means Clark Griswold will be in the finals. All right, next up, round number 6, Danny Trejo versus Steve Buscemi. Round number 6, up first is Royce. Royce, what do you think, Danny or Steve?
Like I said, I think both of these ones fit a profile to have a spirits brand. I think it makes sense. It works. But particular to bourbon, I'm like Beka. I gravitate back towards Boardwalk Empire. That really solidifies it for me with Buscemi. Hell, I think in that one don't they buy the old Overhope distillery at one point or take it over?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, so I definitely see him having a bourbon brand.
Okay. Lenny, you're next. What do you think, Danny Trejo or Steve Buscemi?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna lean too hard towards Danny Trejo, even though I love the dude. I think he owns taco restaurants, which I have a lot of respect for.
Yeah,
tacos. I feel like of this whole list, Steve Buscemi probably legitimately does like bourbon and would have a bourbon brand. And of course, Boardwalk Empire, ridiculously good. So yeah, I would say he's the one who should get the nod.
All right. Stacey, what do you think? Steve Buscemi's up 2-0 over Danny Trejo. What are you thinking?
It's a definitely, I love both of them. I think Buscemi could have more of a classier high-end bourbon.
Yeah. Unlike a lot of them on this list, like the Griswold and the Stooges, that again, that's an 80 to 85 proofer. I mean, but Buscemi could have a top-notch one, right? I mean, yeah, he could have something. Yeah.
It could be called Mr. Pink.
Yeah. Mr. Pink. Yeah.
So Buscemi, definitely.
That means Buscemi moves on. All right, our finals looks like this. Clark Griswold takes on Steve Buscemi, round number 7. Lenny, you're first.
Mr. Pink.
Mr. Pink goes up 1-0. What do you think, Stacey? Clark Griswold or Mr. Pink?
I like them both. I think the Griswold would be a fun bourbon, a good conversation piece. I think marketing would be fun with that one, and maybe a spinoff with a Cousin Eddie. I think the labels, they've got, great potential for the labels. But I like Steve Buscemi.
Buscemi goes up 2-0. Miss Beka Sue, Buscemi's on the verge of ending this thing. What do you think?
I think that, like what Stacey was saying with the Clark Griswold one, I think that Deep Eddy Vodka would probably launch the Clark Griswold brand.
So Heaven Hill, yeah.
That's who'd probably do it, and then they do a Cousin Eddie vodka with it.
If not, they'd send you a cease and desist for start your own.
Or they would do that. But again, Steve Buscemi should have one. Out of all the celebrities in the world that have a bourbon brand, Steve Buscemi should have a bourbon brand.
Exactly.
Most people should not. A majority of these people should not have one. But Steve, absolutely.
I agree. And with that, it's over. Steve Buscemi wins it in a sweep in the finals. And I think we made the right choice. I do feel like he is conducive to not only, kind of his standing in Hollywood. He's not a leading man. Doesn't have a whole lot of distraction. He's more of a kind of a role player. And then of course, Boardwalk Empire gives him the kind of the street cred of, he's never been in the industry, but you feel like he kind of has because of that role. He's so iconic for that role. And he'd be perfect. And you see some of the speeches that he made, you can almost see him do marketing. I mean, the marketing thing is just have him dress up in period suits and talk about the bourbon, not even say he's playing that character, just be Steve Buscemi, but dressed like that. And I think it would be pretty cool. So pretty freaking awesome. So there you go. That's the one. If again, I think he's a regular listener, so maybe he just hasn't thought of opening this up yet. So this will spur him. So we'll see. All right, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Royce, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
Find me on Facebook and Instagram at Neely Family Distillery at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com.
All right, Lenny.
Find me and the rest of Deerhammer on social media at Deerhammer, on the web at deerhammer.com. We can also order all of our stuff shipped direct to your door. And you can come visit us in beautiful Buena Vista, Colorado.
All right, Stacey.
I'm on Instagram at Stacey Share.
All right, Miss Beka Sue.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue, 1K, no C's.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got the company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. Check it out because everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, our shop, so much more, abvnetwork.com. Miss Beka Sue, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps when people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, we ask you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
All right, great job today, gang. For our audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you want to experiment on the stove in your kitchen or you're looking for a bigger setup in your backyard, owner Russell Creed and his team can help. They have multiple still offerings, accessories, and even grain from their partners at Goldstone Mill to assist you in making whiskey on par with your favorite distillery. They can also help you with some fabricated parts you probably can't make yourself if you are attempting a DIY still project. Learn more or order your still or parts at moonshinestillpro.com. Another friend of ours is the Goldstein family at Goldstone Mill. The Goldsteins offer a variety of heritage and heirloom grains to make the finest whiskeys in the world. Plus, they are more than just a grain company. They are truly consultants to make sure the grains they are providing to you or your business meet your highest expectations. Additionally, they work with mills around the country ensuring shipping is as low as possible for their customers. If you're a distillery, brewery, or even doing this at home, Goldstone can assist you. Check them out at goldstonemill.com, call them at 217-254-6613, or check in via email at hello@goldstonemill.com. Last but not least, at the top of the show, I mentioned investment opportunities at the new liquor store concept, the ABV Barrel Shop, being launched in 2022 by myself, Jim Fosnot, and Scott Creighton. We are crowdfunding some of the capital needed to open the store. Not only does it offer a return on your investment, but a lifetime of status and benefits at the store. Of course, this investment is a loan and involves a high degree of risk, which may not be suitable for all persons. Prospective investors should carefully evaluate the risk and merits of an investment, should confer with their own legal and financial advisors, and should be able to bear the risk of the loss of their investment before considering the investment described herein. If you would like more information, contact us via the under construction website at abvbarrelshop.com and fill out the form.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.